That's the thing too, like community really helps you build those kind of friendships, and that's so cool just to see that.
Because a lot of churches will do a lot of grace, but they water down the truth. Churches will do a lot of truth, but they say, oh, we're not going to give them much grace. The CBC wants to balance that.
Now, if you come from a small church to
So
a
big
big church, now that's something different.
This is the Unscripted Podcast with your host, Clarke from Gospel House Ministries. In this podcast, we will discuss biblical topics, bring up unhinged moments, share insane stories, reveal raw and real issues, declare heartfelt testimonies, and express life-changing conversations. As unscripted, unexpected, and unhinged the conversations may get, let it all be uncompromising to the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is what we like to call your church community group in your headphones. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Unscripted Podcast. I'm so excited about this episode because I have a very good friend of mine who is honestly amazing conversations. She takes incredible photos, and also honestly, there's so much I could talk about her. So we're going to bring her on right now. Lisa.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too shabby.
No, thank you for having me. I know you've done these podcasts before, and I'm just like, I'm excited that I get to be on your podcast now. So that's a real opportunity. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Like, how you feeling right now? Like, what are you...
Good. I'm a little bit tired, but hey, no,
we're all
tired, but hey, I have my matcha, so hey.
Hey, let's go. All right. So, but yeah, I'm glad to bring you on. This has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. We've gotten to know each other for a few months now, and to call you my friend is an incredible thing to say. It's a blessing. So, yeah, but I bet you could say the same too.
Yes. No.
So what I want to, before we actually get into all the questions, I do want to pray us in, because although this is called unscripted, and there's a reason why it's called unscripted, is because this is not just because of unscripted unhinged moments, which that may happen, and we allow that here. We allow crazy, insane things to happen. But at the same time, I think it's also unscripted because we want the Holy Spirit to work, and I think he works the best when he lets us interrupt. We want to be interruptible. Right. So we want to be interruptible with the Holy Spirit. So I just want to pray us in, and he can guide us into our conversations. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time. I thank you for my good friend Lisa. I think you're allowing us to sit here on this couch and just chat about life and just chat about stuff. And I just pray anybody that listens to this episode that they can be encouraged, that they'll be known that there's a God that sees them and there's a God who cares for them. And let this podcast be all for your glory. We will joke, we will crack jokes, we will have fun. But at the end of the day, let this all be for your glory. Let us be interruptible. Let your Spirit take over this room right now and anoint this place right now. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so the first question I have for you is, what was your journey to Christ? What is your testimony? Like, what is your journey to Christ, and what did that look like, basically?
Oh man, so my journey to Christ. Oh man, there's so much that I could say, but I'll say I was adopted at the age of 3 from Russia. And with that, I think right before I was adopted, or I think during that process of wanting to be adopted, my adopted parents at the time, when I think they're going through the process of getting my papers filled out, my parents I was baptized in a Russian Orthodox church, and then my parents, when I was fully adopted and into the United States, and once I got readopted actually into the United States, so my adopted parents could have a paper that said like, hey, she's a U.S. citizen, so that we didn't have like any trouble like in the future, of course. No, after that, my parents, they wanted to get me rebaptized at this church called a United Methodist Church, and it's a pretty big church. I don't know if you've heard of it.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, but no, I think probably 4 or maybe 5 at the time. I can't remember. but yeah, I know they wanted to rebaptize me, but just during that time, just through my years of growing up, I never had the interest of like wondering like what church was. I never really had the interest of knowing what the Bible was. And given that, I would always fall asleep in church just during the sermons.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt so bad because I know my parents, they really wanted a Christ-like daughter who
Right.
could follow Christ.
Yeah.
But they just were like, Lisa, like, what are you doing? You're falling asleep. And they would have to like pinch me or wake me up. I'm like, I'm sorry. But no, it's just for me, I never had the curiosity. Excuse me. I never wanted to learn like who Christ was, if that makes sense.
No, that's
But
fair. No.
yeah, after eighth grade, I don't know if it was in eighth grade, maybe even before that, I was taking a confirmation class, and they had asked each and every person or kid who was getting confirmed if they wanted to get baptized.
Right.
And of course, I had said no. I was like, no, this is just not it. And also, I just had a really hard time finding friends or finding girls who had the same interest in me. I don't know if you would say like bullied, but the girls that I was in group with, they didn't really have interest in like wanting to talk with me. The only person who was interested or who was really nice to me was the leader of that group. And I really just enjoyed how she cared for me, and I really do miss having that part or having that those moments. But no, after that,
Yeah.
my parents and I, we decided to leave the church after I think 11 or 12 years of being there. Well, of course, for my parents, I think 12 years for them. And I can't remember, maybe it was 11 or 12 years for me as well. But
Yeah.
we were just like, okay, what do we do? And during that time too, I had done my best. I was like, okay, like if this is something your parents want, then maybe this is something you could explore. And for that, we had finally found a church, Wayside Chapel, and I was a junior, I believe, when I was starting to take interest of like, okay, like who, like, tell me more about like the Bible, tell me more like what I need to do to like, I guess get plugged in
Yeah.
with the church. And because during that time I had met some really good, like Christ-like people, and of course the two leaders that we had in that group just were so like down to earth, and I know they're just so caring and so just loving with us. And
Yeah.
I really just I'm so thankful for that opportunity that I had with that group.
Of course.
And so yeah, like with that, I think after my junior year, going on to my senior year, I I was just like, okay, like what do I need to do now? Because I'm starting to get to know these girls better, the leaders, the church, and like what do I do now?
Yeah.
And I think during the middle, or I guess towards the end of my first semester, my senior year, we were starting to like fill out our college like applications. We had to get that on board, and they're like, hey, like let's start trying to like get ready. And of course, for me, I had like two options. I had either the opportunity of going to Schreiner University up in Kerrville, or to Texas A&M in College Station for this program called the PASS program, which stands for Post-Secondary Access and Human Training Services. And I was like, I really didn't want to choose College Station. I guess for me, it was just also far.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what do I do like if I go to College Station? Because I know in Schreiner that's like an hour drive. So I was just like, okay, what do I do? So I was like in a bind. But I also had a $20K scholarship from Schreiner that would have lasted me for the 4 years if I had gone. And I was really choosing Schreiner. I really wanted to go. And last minute, I was like, let's do Texas A&M. And I was like, okay. Of course, like when you go to college, you don't have your parents like helping you out. You're on your own. And for me, I had a really hard time. Like the first few days, I could not get like acquainted. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was just like, I was really homesick. And my parents were like, Lisa, like, you got this. Like, don't give up just yet. Like, and I think also as well, I didn't know how this program was going to be. I think at first it was going to be, I think it was a 1 year program, if I'm not mistaken. But then they wanted to like lay out they wanted it to be a bit longer so that we could have more training. Um, and so they had, instead of having it 1 year, it was 2 years. And I think it was towards the end of my first or second semester. They were like, hey, let's do that. Let's do the 2 years instead of one. And so, during my first semester, I was just like, I was trying to figure out like, okay, if I want to like be more closer with my relationship with God, okay, what do I need to do? And one of the pastors at Wayside, Jason Notmore, he had given me a list of churches because he had actually gone to Texas A&M and College Station. And he had given me a list and I was like, okay, I'll look at them. That list, I hadn't even gone to any, maybe I'd gone to one of them, but after that I was like, okay, you need to find a church. And I was like, okay. So I was on campus one day walking to class, and this guy, he came up to me. He was like, hey, do you have like a Bible? Do you have a church that you go to? I was like, no, I don't have one. I've been trying to find one, but I can't find any. And it's like, hey,
Right.
we got you. Like, I would love to give you this Bible as well, but also I'd love to invite you to Central up in Bryan College Station. I was like, okay, can you tell me more about this? And it's like, yeah. And so he told me about it, and I was like, okay, so how like, what can I do? Like, can I like, I need a ride. Like, I don't have a car. And so they're like, oh yeah, we can get like one of the girls to pick you up, the leaders. I was like, okay. That following Sunday, one of the girls picked me up, and I'd gone in after that. Everything changed. Everything changed with how I felt, how I was feeling. I was like, okay, maybe I can find a community with this church. And I'll never forget, like, just the conversations I had with the people that I got to meet there. They were so welcoming, so loving. And I, there was this one time, this college pastor, he was preaching about this certain topic, and right then and there, I was just like crying. I was like, what the heck? Like, what's happening to me? And I was just like so heartbroken that day, just with the topic, because I could relate so much to it. And after that, I was like, okay, like, I think this is my time. Like, I think this is something I want to like move forward with. I think I want to like give my life to Christ. And that day I'd given my life to Christ, and I just had a really good conversation with my mentor then. And she was like, hey, like, yes, like the journey is going to be hard, but like, you have people alongside you who are not going to give up on you.
Right.
And so, yeah, ever since that moment, I had just a beautiful opportunity getting to serve with that church, with their college group. And I met some really great people. And I truly, truly, I was so happy in that moment. And I still am. Like, I'm very just happy that I got to go to that church.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think during my time in College Station as well, I got to connect with this like mission group. I can't remember. I can't remember what they were called.
You're good.
But now they're called VIA, and they go on missions. They get to have little Bible studies here or there, and yeah, it's great. So.
Wow, that's really cool. Hey, you got saved at college, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own journey, and but yeah, I definitely the part where you said that like you want to like you didn't want to do anything to look like Christ. You weren't searching for him. That was kind of my testimony, because it was weird, because I got saved at a table downstairs. My dad led me. And obviously my testimony is a whole different is a different story for a different day. But basically, I got saved, but then I don't know what came over me, but I remember my grandma came like on my dad's side, like maybe like a few weeks after that, maybe. And I don't know why I had thought in my head, but I just told my grandma, I don't want to be baptized. I don't want to read my Bible. I don't want to do this and this. I just didn't want to be associated with it.
Yeah.
But I kept the ticket as if that was what got me into the kingdom. And of course I was saved, but I didn't live like I was saved. So that part of your testimony was very similar to how I got raised up. How I accepted Christ. So that's pretty cool that you got saved with. Sorry, guys, if we're laughing, there's another portable across from us. We're actually borrowing a portable, and there's a portable across from us, and they're loud and obnoxious. So if you hear us laughing, or we're like, oh, what? So yeah, just let you know. Anywho. But yeah, that's a really cool testimony. That's really cool that you just had people that were just kind of alongside you, just kind of looked out for you, even at College Station. That's really cool. So that being said, that leads me to my next question: is like, how did you find CBC?
So, I think this was in 21 or 20. I want to say the end of 23, going into 24, if I'm correct. Don't take me on that, but
I won't.
No, but like I think it was in 2018. That was my middle school. When I was in middle school, we were still trying to find a church. And no, I'm sorry, maybe that was my junior year, right before I became a junior. It was in 2018 for sure. Yeah. But me and my parents, we were like, okay, like, what do you do? And this was around Easter time, actually. My parents, they were like, hey, let's go to CBC. And, if you're coming from like a big church, like it's going to be like, you're going to probably get used to like going to another big church. Now, if you're coming from a small church to a big church, now that's something different. But no, my parents and I, we had gone to CBC that day, and it was on Easter. So it was packed. We were like, okay, how bad could this be? And we were just shocked. We were like, whoa, this is way different than the church that we had gone to previously. Or of course, like United Methodist Church, but
right.
We were just a little bit like, okay, like this is a lot to take in. And I think for my parents, I felt like maybe they were like walking into like a concert, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, like CBC is not like that.
No, it's not. You guys. It feels like it, but it's not. I promise you. So.
No. But yeah, we had gone, and Pastor Ed was in just like this bright, colorful suit. And we were like, what the heck? And
that's how he is.
Exactly. No, but we love Pastor Ed, but no, It was just like, you're walking in, and it does feel like a concert, at first, but he was just so energetic, and we're like, okay, this is just a lot. And I think we had stayed for the whole service, but after that we're like, okay, we're not going to go to CBC. And for me, I think I was just not being kind. I was like, who the heck is this pastor? Like, what is he doing? And I think at the time too, I wasn't close with my faith, and that's why I was just like, this is just a lot. And I was bashing CBC. I was like, this is not it. Yeah. And it was, thinking about it now, I was just like, okay, you were so different when you're like in your, I think, junior year, and now like look at you, like you're thriving here at CBC.
Yeah.
But no, I think like I said previously, it was either going into 24 or maybe in the middle of 24. Brittany Smith, if you know her, CBC Global, love you. But no, she had like asked me, she was like, hey, like if you want to find like a group setting, or if you want to find community, check out CBC Common Ground or CBC Young Adults. I was like, no, Brittany, I really don't. Like, I've gone to CBC. I'm just like, not really. I don't want that kind of setting. And she was like, just try it out. Like, you like might love it. And so I had taken up her word. I was like, okay, I'll try Common Ground. And I was just like, I think the first person, if I'm not mistaken, that had greeted me was either Pastor Nick, Jacob, or this other girl. And I was like, okay, maybe I could get used to this. Maybe I could like find a community here. And yeah, I remember like Pastor Nick was like, "Hey, we're so glad to like that you're here. We would love for you to join us." I was like, okay. And back then we were in we were
chapel.
The chapel. Yes,
it's called chapel now.
Yeah. We were in the chapel, and oh my goodness, it was a smaller group now, or it was a smaller group then that we have now. It's way bigger, but yeah. He was leading that night and preached a really good sermon. But after that, I was like, okay, like maybe this is something I want to continue going on, or continue going to.
Yep.
And I met some really great people. I think it was also like close to groups, like when we were starting to do groups that semester in 24.
Yeah, group mixer or something like that.
Yeah, the group mixer. And I was like, okay, like maybe this is something I could like get more involved with. And I think also Lisa Kelly, I was getting to know her as well. And she said, hey, like try out like a group. If you don't like it, maybe you can try another one. And I think for me at that moment, I was also I didn't want to have like a mixed group with the guys and girls. I just wanted to have like a girls group. And yeah, I had found one, and it was a small one. I was like, okay, this is like I really do enjoy this. But I'm so glad I had taken up Brittany's offer to come, because if I hadn't, I don't think I would have been at CBC or had the opportunities getting to serve with Common Ground young adults now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really just fortunate, just very thankful for that. But yeah, CBC Common Ground has like really changed my life. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
I can tell, like even when you are tired, which is very obvious, what I can tell. I can tell that like even when you are tired, you just want to be here. Like there's just something about like you just want to be here. You just want to help out and serve. And now you're not just attending. Now you're helping out with the media. She's on she helps out with production now, and so if she feels like it, she'll take photos. She's an amazing photographer. Okay, you need to check out her page and stuff like that. Because she's trying to grow it, and we're going to here at Gospel House Ministries. We're going to make sure we grow it. But yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, I can definitely tell. And for me too, CBC, I've been here since 2017, and I haven't been plugged in. I didn't get plugged in until 2019, where basically my whole life, the first half of that year, everything was crumbling from under me. I didn't know what was happening. Like things were taken away. And that was kind of when, that was when I was brought back to Christ. And then that is where I got plugged in more community groups. I soaked into all the messages that like Pastor read, or at the time it was Matt Mason over the middle school ministry. Then I moved over to the high school ministry with Casey Withers. And I just soaked into all these messages, and I just kept going to community groups. Like I was trying to be as consistent. Like Mom, this is the time I wasn't trying. Like Mom, I want to get to church. Like I want to get. And there were times that we couldn't make it, but I wanted to be as consistent as I possibly could. And they saw, and to this day, I don't know who nominated me, but I remember they had this thing called student representation. It's like it's representing the student ministry, and they still have that going on today. But that being said, I just remember getting a text from Casey Withers. He said, hey, someone saw something in you as like a leader. Someone saw like you're special, you're different, and we're going to invite you to student reps. You're a student rep. And I'm like, wait, what? Like I'm a what now? Like because it's like an elite group. Yeah. Like they choose people that they can see there's something different in them. Yeah. And I don't know who nominated me. I mean, I can get a few guesses now, but to this day, I don't know who nominated me. I have no idea. It's anonymous. Yeah. So, but ever since 2019, that time, I just kept serving. And here we are, 2026. Hopefully I said that right. Because sometimes I miss, I say the dates wrong. I'm like 2006. That's not right. I was 2 by then. So, Yes, I know exactly. But anyway, but CBC in general has been amazing. It's definitely a different church. Like people, like you said, it feels like a concert. It does. When you're a first time comer, you can't help it.
Right.
You walk in, you're like, this is a big church. This is a concert. And CBC gets bashed for that a lot.
Yeah.
They get bashed like it's too big. It's this and this and this. And as Pastor Nick says, our college pastor, he's like, if you don't like mega churches, then you're not going to like heaven. Because it's not going to be a small elite group. It's going to be every tribe, every tongue, every nation is going to be there that has accepted Christ. And it's going to be a lot. Yeah. And that's what God wants, is all his people to be saved and come to his kingdom. But CBC definitely has shown the light on that. I mean, CBC has gone through so many changes, but they still stick to the core value of who they are. It's Community Bible Church. That's what it stands for. And they're all about community, and they're all about the Bible. I mean, our pastor's all about the Bible. Like, he stands on truth. Like, it may feel big, but I promise you, once you get plugged in, it feels small. It already feels small. Yeah. So it already feels like intimate. So. And he's raw too. He'll say some things that, whoa, like no other pastor has ever said that before. I've never heard a pastor say that. Like I've never heard a pastor say that. Like he really sticks his ground. So, and they also provide, they have this balance of grace and truth, where it's not just because a lot of churches will do a lot of grace, but they water down the truth, or a lot of churches will do a lot of truth, but they say, oh, we're not going to give much grace. Right. But CBC wants to balance that. They want to say, yes, we believe in the Spirit. We're going to give people Spirit and be gracious, but we're also going to spread the truth because the truth will set you free. Right. So like there's this balance they try to do. So CBC has also been very impactful for me because it's kind of been, I think, the only church I feel like I can be involved with where I feel like I'm seen and I'm secure and I'm safe. Like this is like CBC is my favorite place to be. Like it's not Disney World, it's this place. So
no, I think like when you think about like Community Bible Church, of course, it's gonna be, I think, scary in the moment. But like when you get plugged in with groups, with like involvement of Love San Antonio or just like the events that we have, it truly feels like a smaller church. It doesn't even feel big, and that's how I felt like when I was going to Common Ground. I was like, whoa, like this is way smaller than I thought. And of course, like now we've grown, and now being combined with young adults, like it's gonna be bigger, but that still like shouldn't scare you to even come and try it out, you know, if you're trying to find a church.
Yeah. You'll find somebody.
Exactly. Very just thankful that we both get to be a part of this kind of ministry, or the Common Ground Young Adults ministry, and getting to be involved with that. So.
And it was because of Common Ground that we're friends. Because what's funny is that I've seen you around. So this is just a side note. We're going to get into the questions later, but this is just a side note. That commercial break that I remember we were talking about this quite a bit. We were talking about like we've seen each other around, but we didn't get to start talking until like maybe like after Easter.
Yeah, I want to say Easter.
Like a little after Easter. Yeah. Because I would see you around and you'd see you around. I'd be like, who? I see her doing stuff. I don't know who this is. But I don't know. I don't remember when we bumped into each other. I just don't remember. I don't remember.
No, I remember. Yeah, I would see you with like the media team, or at least like filming or helping like film videos. And I was like, who is this guy? And I would hear your name. Like, of course, I would see you and Matthew just walking around. And I was like, okay, like what do they do? And I think it was like after Easter, around that time, that we just started like getting to know each other or have those conversations either at the coffee shop or ambassadors.
That 6-hour conversation, just chatting it up, just chopping it up.
I think that was like our first conversation, or maybe
like one of our like longest conversations.
Yeah, for sure the longest. And no, I really just got to know more about you and who you are as a person, and very grateful just to have that opportunity.
Same here.
And no, that's the thing too, like community really helps you build those kind of friendships. And you never know, like you could truly find your significant other. I know Pastor Nick has mentioned that like people have found each other before here at Common Ground or at CBC, and that's so cool just to see that. I know, like yeah, we both know. There's been some people that we know in our group, and yeah, very thankful just to have that, or just to see their relationship bloom.
Yeah, just
So
have that community.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's super cool. Yeah. All right. So the next question I want to get into is what we were talking about with, like I was talking about with her photos. I was gonna basically ask, how did you get into photography? Because that is something that you are passionate about,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's amazing to see you like growing that, and it's been amazing to even like just by the time we're recording this, we went to like a pop-up market and I was just watching you in action of how you did that. And you were like, okay, you're going to help me a little bit here. You're like, so that being said, like, how did you get into photography? What was your like, how did that start, I guess?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, when I was younger, I don't know, like when like Apple iPhones like officially came out, or like when the first iPhone came out. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was I don't know if that was just called. Well, I know we had the iPod, right? There was
Yeah.
iPod, and then I think maybe it was just either called iPhone or iPhone. Maybe it was iPhone 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when my parents, I think, got a hold of like the iPhone, or maybe just like those like little cameras that you would have that you take on vacation, and then you just take out the film when you're
Like disposable?
yeah, the disposable cameras. Yeah. I remember like when we would go on cruises, they would say, "Hey, like Lisa, could you take our photos?" And like when you're a kid, you want to know like, "Oh, this is a camera," like it's so cool. Or it's something like electronic,
Yeah.
and it's something like that's gonna mesmerize you. You're like, "Oh, like I want to play with it." But yeah, I think it was either a disposable camera, or it was just, I think maybe it was like one of the iPhones, like early on. And my parents were like, "Oh, hey Lisa, you take really like great photos." And they kind of like saw that like I had a gift for that.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, maybe you could like have a camera one day." And at first I was like, no, you're joking about it. You're not really taking that serious.
Yeah.
And
You don't know what you're talking
exactly.
about.
No, I think also I didn't take it serious at the moment either. I was just like, no, okay, like, okay, maybe, whatever. But no, I think as I was getting older, I would take more, like, better photos on the iPhones. And no, I was just like, okay, maybe this is something I really do enjoy.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I had multiple opportunities actually. In high school, we had a media class and we had a photography class, and I think I did media. I think at the time I can't remember the name, but I was like doing like certain like different designs for the media team, I think, and it was, of course, we were doing we were part of like the yearbook. So we were creating the yearbook throughout the year. And but yeah, for me, I had asked my teacher, I was like, "Hey, like, do you think I could test out the camera or I think we had Canon cameras." And so that's a good brand. But I was testing it. I was like, okay, I actually do enjoy that. But after I had graduated in 21, my parents had gotten me a Lumix camera. I can't remember the year of it, but it was a Lumix. It was like it's a beginner's camera.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, let me test this out. And it's funny. So when I had came to Common Ground, went to Common Ground one of the nights, I think Zay was there at the time. I think it was Zay and someone else doing photography, and it was a small team back then.
Yeah, it was a very small team.
And so I didn't really think about it. I didn't think about it for a while, and I just kind of put the Lumix camera off. And I had taken some photos with it, but I think we would take it with like our trips, and so I was testing out the waters basically.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. When I had seen Zay like taking photos for Common Ground, I was like, okay, like maybe I do want to do something with this. So he was like, hey, as long as you have a camera, like, and as long as you can like shoot photos, perfect. That's all you need.
It's like in the service, you're not paying attention to the sermon at all. You're just like, how, like he's looking, you're looking at the
exactly.
All your focus is like, oh, look at that.
Exactly. No, and so I was like, okay, like let's see what we can do with this Lumix camera.
Yeah.
But at the time, I would take photos, and this was in maybe oh my goodness, maybe now 25. We're entering 25, or maybe the end of 25.
Wow.
And I was looking at the photos, and every photo that I would take, it would just like come out grainy or just not the greatest. Like I did have like the flash for the camera that I had.
Yeah.
It did have a flash, but it just like it wasn't taking the photos that I wanted. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and so I was like, I got to do something else with this, because this is just not turning out the way I want it. And I was like bashing myself. I was like, Lisa, like, come on, like you can do better than this. And I was like, okay, actually this year in March, it was either February or March, I had decided, I was like, okay, I was asking the media team around. I was like, hey, what camera do you use? What camera would you recommend? And the funny thing is, half the media team has a Sony, half the other team has a Canon. And I was stuck in the middle. I was like, oh my goodness.
So it's like a 50-50.
Exactly.
So of course there's different opinions.
Exactly. And so,
like, my camera's better.
Right, no, right. But then also I remembered, I think CBC, correct me if I'm wrong, I think CBC also uses Canon for their, I think cameras or their equipment. But I was like, I don't know if I could do Canon. And my dad was like saying, Lisa, like, maybe you should do Canon, because like, if you look up like just anything about it, this is what it's saying, this is what it would recommend. And I think I was like, no, Dad, I just don't want to do that. And I think for me, when I was looking into the Sony, the thing that I liked about was that the screen could come out when you're taking photos, and so that really helped. I was like, okay, that could be a useful thing.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if Canon does that, so but
I can't tell you.
in the end, I had gone on Amazon. I was like, okay, I really do. I think I was looking at the different Sonys. I had chosen the Sony 7A4 or Sony 4. Sony 7A4 mirrorless camera, and that was a lot of money. That was a lot. I'll say. I'm not gonna say the whole thing. It was expensive. And then since it was mirrorless, it didn't have a lens. So I bought the lens. That was a Tamron lens, and that was quite expensive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I know.
It was worth it, because in the end, I started shooting maybe towards the end of March or April, and my photos were coming out way more cleaner, crispier. And
you're like,
it was nice. I was like, okay, like I can see why people like shooting photos or doing photography. And since then I've been hooked, and I think I felt called to being like maybe a full-time photographer. That's something I enjoy, and that's something I've had the opportunity to like do photos or photo shoots for. I've had some people ask me if they can do if I can shoot for them. And yeah, when it comes to photography, I really do take it seriously.
Of course.
I know, of course, I don't, right now, I would love to invest in a flash for my camera, because I really do, I think that would make a difference. I've been to multiple pop-up markets, and one of them was at night, and one of them was in the morning. And like you were saying, I think the first pop-up market, I was shooting for Holy Faith. Shout out to Holy Faith. But yeah, I was shooting for them, but it was dark, and I really wish I had a flash for that time, because I think it would have yes, the photos did come out well, but it just, for some of the other pop-up markets I was shooting for, it just, they were, the photos just were so dark. I didn't have the necessary equipment, and I was like, okay, that's something I need to invest in. But yeah, just photography has really played a huge part of my life, and I really enjoyed getting to just experiment with it, and getting to also learn. I'm hoping actually too that I can take a photography class and learn more about my camera, because that's something, if I want to take this seriously, that's something I need to know more about with my camera. And shout out to the media team for helping me. Everyone's been so patient. Even if I annoy them with questions about my camera, I'm like, hey, what does this do? But yeah, everyone's been so patient. I really appreciate just everyone taking their time to help me out, and just in the photos that I need or that I would like to shoot for,
Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. What is your dream thing to shoot? If you were to.
So
stay tuned next week for the remainder of this episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Unscripted Podcast. Did you enjoy it? Give us a rating and a follow to stay up to date for future episodes. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube to check out more Gospel House related content and updates. God bless, and we will see you in the next one. Have a blessed day.